Hello, gay men, and welcome to Coming Inside Out. I'm John Derler.
I'm Brian James.
Welcome, Brian.
Thank you. Good to see you, John.
Good to see you.
I wanted in the last episode, season 2, episode 1.
Yep.
We talked about the holidays, but I wanted to go back to that for a minute.
Okay.
During the holidays, I talk about where I live. It's kind of like a dead zone for the gay community.
Okay.
There's Scruff and there's Grinder, but when you go on there, there's people that are like 5 miles away. When you're down here, people are feet away.
Yeah.
When you're up by me, they're miles away.
Okay.
So during the holiday, everybody's coming home to visit their family.
Yeah.
I log into, I think it was Grinder or Scruff or one of them, and all of a sudden there's like dozens of people. Someone's guy 300 feet away, 600 feet away, all this stuff. So this guy reaches out to me. He and I have some dialogue back and forth. He's visiting family locally to where I live, and he's like, "Hey, why don't you come over to my hotel room?" And I said, "Oh, I'm not really on here for a hookup, and I've told you before on Scruff and Grinder, my profile promotes our podcast.
Sure.
And that there's some gay closeted men that find our podcast through Scruff and Grinder."
Yeah.
So he invites me to the hotel, and I'm like, "No, that's okay." And he's like, "Hey, I'm in here for a limited time. We don't have to do anything. How about you just come over? We'll snuggle and watch TV." And I was like, "Oh, I've not snuggled with a man and watched TV or just hang out or whatever like that." So the conversation keeps going. It's like, "Hey, we can bring a bottle of wine and we'll watch TV and snuggle in bed and whatever." And I was like, "Oh, that was so appealing to me." But unfortunately, he got creepy pretty quick. Okay. And I was so glad I didn't go because he just seemed to just kind of get this very creepy vibe to him. But that was so appealing.
Yeah.
We had talked about slow dancing. Remember we had that episode where we talked about slow dancing with another man? I thought, I'd love to slow dance with another man, but at the same time, I'd love to snuggle in bed and watch TV with a glass of wine.
Sure.
With another man, too.
Of course. I mean, I think, the intimacy is just not sex. Intimacy can be a touch.
Yeah.
Can be a rub. Can be a cuddle. Can be just one hand on the knee. There's so many, and I think that's beautiful. I think it's important. I think we need that. We all need that, and that type of attention.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be. I mean, if it leads to sex, that's great.
That's fine, but that's not what you were there for.
No.
And look, and yes, those sites, Sniffies and Grinder, predominantly it's the hookup site. However, but you can again communicate up front. Say, look, I'm not looking for a hookup. I've read that before, and then just talk to guys, and you know what? It's just nice to talk with somebody, and I've done that many times and not hooked up.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't. Okay, I didn't. I thought when guys meet, it always ends.
As I said, it normally does, but there are times that it's just nice to have a conversation, and you just meet somebody that has a lot of the same likes that you do, and it just doesn't work out. But it's nice to have there's an intimacy within that.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for. That's what I was looking for.
Well,
but
you did.
It didn't work out. Unfortunately,
what got creepy? When did it get creepy? What was the?
Well, so I was like, "Oh, I'm out running errands. It was the holiday time. I'm out running errands. Let me check back in a couple hours." And so I wanted to think about it. So I kind of gave myself an out for a couple hours to think if I was going to go up to his hotel room. And I logged back on, and he's like, "Oh, send me some pics." And in my profile, it says I'm not on here to exchange pics.
Right.
If I want to look at a dick pic, I could just open my computer and find porn anywhere.
Right.
Why do you need to, why is it so important or stimulating that guys send each other dick pics?
Well, because it's a visual thing. We're stimulated. Males are more stimulated with pictures and visual as opposed to women that are more into the storytelling, the romance of it.
But do you need to see a guy's dick before you hook up with him?
Sure.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
You have to say, all right, maybe.
What am I? We want to be transparent, so
Okay.
that's a quality that one may have.
All right.
Particular dick, particular size.
Okay.
What
I mean,
have
you could
or
describe
an
it,
ass
but
pic. If you're an ass man,
I
like
do.
an ass.
Please do not send me a butthole pic. I do not like butthole pics. No.
And you can state that in your statement.
Yeah.
If you don't send me, because there's a lot of guys that they don't send me the asshole pic.
Yeah.
Don't send me that. And and that's fine. It's, or you can block them if they do it. Just block them and then you move on.
Well, he wanted, it's like, send the pics. I said, I don't send pics. It's in my profile. And then it's like, oh, come on, whatever, and this, that. And then it just got weird.
Do you have pics of your face and your body?
I do. I have a pic. Well, so I have a love-hate relationship with Scruff and Grinder. I go on there. I'm on there for a couple days. I delete the app. I log back on a month later. I'm on it for a couple days. I delete the app. So
why do you do that? Why do you do that? Do you feel guilty? Or?
No, it just feels low vibrational for me, and I don't think I'm attracting
what you
the
want
type of person I want.
Well, not for those that's a hookup. Because it's a hookup app. I mean, you got to go to another. Are you on any other app?
No, but I think to myself, if I'm on there has to be someone else like me on there. But I never find the other person like me. That's true. I've met some very nice people that I've had great conversations.
Do you go into the filters and really look at the filters? Because the filters might have in there, not looking for a hookup or, given the preferences of what they are, top, bottom, first, side, whatever. But there may be a filter in there that's like, looking for friendship. But that's the other thing, and I'm going to say this again, and I've said it before. Do not give your phone numbers out on these type of apps, because a lot of them, there's escorts that are there, but there's also the scammers from Nigeria or wherever, and it is so obvious because when they reach out to me, they steal somebody's picture, then they send me, hey, how are you doing? Oh, fine, how are you? And not either in the second or third um, conversation. What do you do for a living? What do you do? Motherfucker, I'm not telling you what I do because they want to know. And I had given my number out before, and man, they're like, not even 30 seconds, they were naming my family members.
Wow.
They named my family members. They were naming, I mean, it gets so creepy and so scary on these apps that you just don't do it. Don't give your phone number out, because there are different programs that you can just insert your phone number and it pulls up your name. It also pulls up all of your relatives, your parents, your sisters, your everything. It pulls it up, and then they can get into your Facebook and they get into everything. And then the next thing, they're hitting you up for 10 grand.
Yeah, we've had that. We've had
this conversation. We've had this conversation before, but I don't think we have it enough. I really don't, because I think this is, protection 101 for all of you men that are in the closet. And if you're hooking up with these apps, you need to be very, very careful, because giving out your phone number, it's just dangerous in so many ways. Physically dangerous, but it can also just be, they steal your identity. They can take your identity, and it has nothing to do with blackmailing you that you're gay or you're in the closet and you're married to a woman. But let me tell you, from the phone number, they can find every motherfucking thing about you. And they can find who your wife is, and they can reach out to them, because they've done that to me before. They did that to me for many years ago, when I have already come out to my wife and I was in therapy. And I mean, there was a big long letter that was mailed to me, which
if you were in the closet, that would have been a different conversation.
It could have been a different conversation. And I went to the police department. I went with my therapist, because I had a group therapy, and I brought it to the group, and I miss that group too, because it was great opinions to come in. And these were just people that were straight and gay, that were sex addicts, and they were just very intelligent men that I enjoyed. Weekly, we would meet and go with.
So this clan of 20 go hunting for this person that was
No,
stalking you?
no, but they had gotten them before. They had gotten them before because they were cheating on their wife with another woman, but it doesn't matter.
No,
And
no.
and so if you're listening and you're new listening to our podcast and you didn't hear the other one that we've talked about, I mean, there needs to be just a disclaimer or something. Do not give your phone number out on these apps.
Well, and you've told me that, and I, as much as I listen to you, I sometimes
You don't listen to me.
don't, because I actually ended up giving my phone number out to somebody over the weekend. But we had been talking on Scruff for about a week.
Uh-huh.
I actually
Just get a Snapchat account. Now, you get a Snapchat account, which I do, but I don't use it that much. But it's much safer because I believe Snapchat erases after 24 hours. And it's not connected to, it's connected to your phone, but nobody sees that number. You have a different username, and that's all they give. You just give them the username, but it will come to the app. And, but again,
How about what about the WhatsApp? Somebody asked me to talk with them on WhatsApp, and I don't have that.
I have WhatsApp and I've used it before, but the one thing that I do not know about WhatsApp, and I need to educate myself on it, is that it goes with your number, and I think when you give a number out, I don't know. I think there's a separate number for that.
Well,
and it's encrypted and protected, and it's great to use WhatsApp even on making calls to other countries because it doesn't cost you.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
No, WhatsApp is a really good one, and I should dive deeper into.
We'll research it and we'll bring it up on. Or if you're a listener and you know about the WhatsApp, let us know what's up with the WhatsApp.
Yeah, what's up with WhatsApp?
Yeah. So I have something kind of funny to share with you. We post this podcast on several platforms, and maybe a month ago I mentioned that Twitter, there's like this offshoot of Twitter, it's called Blue Sky.
Okay.
And so I started posting our episodes on Blue Sky.
Okay.
And Blue Sky is a social media service similar to Twitter, using users can share short text messages, videos, all kinds of stuff. So I'm promoting our stuff on Blue Sky. I'm going to open this for John. If you're a listener and you go on Blue Sky, you can look up our podcast, Coming Inside Out. I went to notifications, and we had a notification, and one of the icons for one of the people that liked our podcast, I thought to myself, that looks like a naked man in the icon. So I thought, what? Is that allowed on, like John's putting his glasses on, is that allowed on Blue Sky? So I click on it, and sure as shit, the guy's naked holding his dick. This is on Blue Sky, similar to Twitter. And I was like, what the hell is going on? Then I looked at his profile, dick pic, cum shots, all this stuff. They have video on here of people jacking off. They have all this stuff. I had no. Blue Sky is social media porn.
Social media porn.
Right?
Yeah.
Did anybody know that about Blue Sky? I did not know this about Blue Sky. So I thought that was so. Look at this.
Wow. Now, is he straight? Is he gay?
I have no idea. But when you are on Blue Sky, you literally could type in the word gay under search, and it's all this pornography comes up. It's all porn. It's all dick pics, dick shots, all jacking off, asses.
Wow. Wait, go back to that ass. He's got
all this stuff. All right. Well, we can't spend the whole episode on Blue Sky, but I just thought it was so fun.
So it's like Facebook, but
it's Twitter. It's the exact same thing as Twitter.
Oh, it is.
But Twitter's not. But see, Twitter doesn't have. Does Twitter have?
I'm not on Twitter.
All right.
But this one, you can give, if you're on the chat with Sniffies or Grinder, There's handles that can take you to your Instagram and then also to Twitter. I'm wondering if it could take you to Blue Sky, because that's another avenue I think that you could protect yourself with, by communicating through Blue Sky.
Oh, well, this is our podcast, so I'm not going to communicate with somebody.
Does anybody respond to our stuff on here?
Oh yeah, people have said, oh, they like it or nice content or something like that. And it shows you, I mean, we just joined not that long ago, so we don't have
We're very PG.
We don't have that many listeners on here, but I'm uploading all of our episodes as we go along. But I just thought that.
How'd you come across this?
I was so there was a big falling out or upset in the LGBTQ community with Elon Musk.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was about his transgender daughter or if it was he's not supporting the LGBT community, whatever.
Right.
And there was an article that people were leaving Twitter
or
X and joining Blue Sky. I'd never heard of it, and I was like, oh, if
so this isn't Donald Trump's. What was his true? His is true, right?
Oh, Truth Social.
Truth Social.
Oh no. Oh. Along Donald Trump.
Interesting how the turnaround, because Elon Musk, no, he didn't own Twitter back when
he bought
Trump
it,
was president. Yeah.
No, he owned it. Oh no, maybe he didn't. Oh, maybe he did. I don't know.
But how ironic if he did own it, and then they kicked him off, right?
Yes.
They kicked Trump off.
Yes.
Trump, I think, does Truth Social.
Yes.
Created that, which became, I think, $8 billion.
Well, I don't know. That was
fuzzy math.
Yeah, fuzzy. Exactly.
But anyway, but look at the full turn, with Elon Musk being part of.
Well, I think when he purchased X, he reenacted Trump's account.
Got it.
But speaking of Trump and my last episode, Naked Game Night, one of the gentlemen that was there works on a suicide hotline for the LGBTQ community. Oh. And so I was asking him, not to be too serious because we're all sitting there naked playing games, but I asked him, oh my God, with the holidays and the LGBTQ community, you must be really busy. Oh my God, you poor thing. And he said, oh, actually not as busy as when Trump won the election. And I thought, oh, wow. Mm-hmm. So when Trump won the election, they had such a massive spike in the suicide hotline for the LGBT community. And I thought, oh, wow, that's so sad. But yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And then, bringing into, P. Diddy and all of those sex parties that he had, and how some of the Hollywood elite has fled the country because.
Do you think that that's true?
I do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay, name one of the celebrities you think left the country. Or can you name a celebrity? Is it okay to name a celebrity?
Well, I mean, I'll name them, but I don't know for sure the reason why. Okay. It would be very interesting if it was the reason because Trump got elected, or was it because they're part of this investigation with the DOJ about
speculation?
It's all speculation, and I'm not
following it, so I don't know who.
I'm following it here and there when I'm reading news clips. Which, by the way, I'm trying not to watch reels at night before I go to bed. I'm on my Flipboard, which I'm reading stories, which is much nicer. And what I'm reading about is, a lot of celebs went to these parties, and the DOJ has talked about that they have names that they are going to be coming out this first quarter of people that are involved or are suspects.
Okay, well, Jeffrey Epstein, they never really came out with the list because the people that were on it were heavily protected.
Sure.
But with Diddy, these people are not heavily protected? Or you think that they're going to...
No one's going to be protected because Epstein was killed, or he died. Yeah. But I'm not sure at what point. But, Diddy's going to have to make a deal. So they're going to get him in there, and they're going to say, look, motherfucker, you better sing of who's all involved, or this is all going to be on you. And you don't think he's going to be loyal? You think he will be loyal to all these other people that were involved?
Well, they have all these tapes, so they really don't need him to stand there.
Exactly. Well, yeah, true, but you're right. The tapes
Are these going to come out?
Yeah, I mean, I think so, but it's very interesting how some of the celebs have already fled the country, and are they going to be part of it? You know, I mean, you can see it. They've named Jennifer Lopez, they've named Ashton Kutcher, they've named Beyonce, Jay-Z.
Wow.
Oh yeah, and so it'll be very interesting to see where this does go.
And all those people have left the country.
No, Jay-Z, no. The ones that have left the country that I've heard, and I could be wrong, Kutcher left, DeGeneres left, Ellen DeGeneres.
I did not know. She left Montecito?
Left. You know, it was so funny when I was at that Christmas party.
Yeah.
Little celebrity Christmas party.
Oh, yeah, you told me.
Jeff Ross was there. And if you ever watch Roastmasters, Jeff Ross is just an amazing comedian.
He's hilarious. Yes.
And he's really good. And so at this party, Jeff came and went because he was shooting the roast of Netflix for 2024. And so he had not he came to the party to run his material with all of us industry people. And it was great. And nobody could record. You couldn't record, you couldn't video, because he needed to get reactions, because a lot of comedians go to the improv, or they go and they work their set like, oh gosh, Vicky, that's going to start the Golden Globes. I got to get home and watch that.
Oh, I don't follow it.
Nikki Glazer is hosting that, and I think it starts at 5, so we're going to have to wrap this shit up. Right. But anyway,
bye everybody.
Bye. But anyway, Jeff came and was doing his set, and he's getting to feel what jokes work, what doesn't work. But there was a lot of Diddy jokes, and there was a lot of Ellen DeGeneres about that. So so anyway, it's going to be interesting of the fallout, who was involved and how far they were involved.
All right, so there's speculation that these celebrities either left because of Trump or left because of Diddy.
Yes.
Or a combination of the two.
Yeah.
I didn't know Ellen DeGeneres had left the country. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
I have a gay joke.
Lay it on me.
My 2 boys and I were in the car together, and my older son was snickering, and I said, "Oh, what are you laughing about?" And he's like, "Oh, I can't say." And I said, "What is it?" And he said, "Oh, I just saw this joke on whatever, TikTok or whatever it was." And I said, "Well, tell us what it is." And he's like, "No, I can't share it." And I said, "Oh, come on. We're 3 adults in the car. Tell us what the joke is." And he said, "Okay. How do you know you're at a gay barbecue?"
How do you know you're at a gay barbecue? I don't know. How do you know?
All the hot dogs taste like shit.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
My son told that joke. I thought that was still funny, so I wrote it down to share.
Did he create the joke?
No, he heard it on social media.
I would have been more impressed if he would have written it. So.
No, he didn't write. And maybe it wasn't all the hot dogs taste like shit, or the hot dogs taste like shit. Whatever. But that was, yes. So that was kind of fun.
I like that.
I want to get deep with you for a couple minutes, John.
All right.
And there's 2 things I want to talk about. Over the holidays, a lot of the guys were feeling lonely, and I had shared on here since the beginning of time how lonely I have felt.
Yeah.
And one of the people wrote in and was talking about wanting to come out, but didn't want to come out because they didn't want to feel lonely. I was like, oh my God, that's not a reason not to come out, is because you're going to feel lonely. And I kind of took stock of my life in that moment, and I thought, I cry about being lonely too much. I had a family, and my life, my existence was my family. I lost my family. And then I had my 2 boys, and my existence became my children. And then my youngest son left for the Marine Corps. And I've just more and more feel like I've become more lonely. But I really created that myself. And there's never a time where I'm truly alone. I have great friends.
Sure.
I have all these people that reach out to me. I have a large family. I do have my kids. I have so much to be grateful for.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I've kind of created a picture of myself on this podcast where I'm sad and lonely. And I'm not really sad and lonely. I just haven't filled that void. I filled that void with loneliness rather than filling that void with something.
Was this somebody that
alive.
wrote in
They did write in, and that's what caused me to think, wow, I need to stop crying about being lonely.
Well, look, Brian. I mean, you're being honest, and that's what we're being with. But yeah, have you been heavy on the loneliness side?
Yes,
You have.
yeah.
Yes, you have. You really have, and you're just
I
being
think I'm
honest.
just feeding it, though. I think I've just been feeding it this
Well,
way.
let me tell you something. You are feeding it and you're manifesting it as you keep saying it. I mean, let's talk about 369.
Yeah.
What you think about, what you say, what you do, and you continue to do it and do it.
Yeah.
And you have. And you know what? Then you just make the correction.
Yeah.
It's all
I've
good.
made the correction.
I love that I love that and I love the writer writing in and noticing that because look, we're not perfect people, and it's nice to get a different perspective because I've thought that wow, you are, you say that a lot. I've never just come out and say, you really say that a lot.
I know. I felt it because I had a void,
Yeah,
and I was just feeding the void and feeding the void rather than making room for something new in my life.
you need
I
to
just
make it.
continued to feed the void.
You fed the void. But as you went over, you said, "I lost my family. I lost." You know, did you really lose your family? Your family dynamic changed.
No.
You didn't lose. You lost the old family.
No.
Yes, you lost the white picket fence that we all wanted. Yeah, you lost that. But you know what? There's a new white picket fence, and there's the truthful picket fence,
Yes.
and there's the new picket fence that we're all living by, or at least aspiring to be. And I get it. I love being alone. I mean, not all the time because I have my kids, I have family. Um, this guy that I've gone out with, or whatever people call hookup. He wants to get serious. I'm not ready to get serious. I'm just not. I'm not there yet, and I'll be there in some time. Because I do like the couple. I do like to drink the wine, to watch the movie, and get an opinion. We all get that, but I love that you acknowledge that, and so I mean, you know how to move forward with that.
I'm not gonna feed the loneliness anymore. I'm going to allow room for some newness in my life.
Yeah.
Because I shared on New Year's, I elected to not go somewhere.
Sure.
I elected to stay home. And I wasn't lonely.
No,
I normally would have been lonely and had a little New Year's pity party for myself. And this year I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just celebrate with me and my dog.
Right.
And so for any listeners who are fearful of coming out because they don't want to be alone, you make of it what you make of it. That's what I've made of it.
And this New Year's, I took my mom to dinner with my brother and my sister-in-law and my two sons, and it was just so nice. But it was weird because we ended up getting back home by 9 o'clock, and we were watching Netflix with my mom. She doesn't know how to turn on fucking Netflix. I don't know. Turn this on. I said, Mother, I have the account for you. You just push this number, or you push this here, you push that. Oh, I don't know how to work this. I'm like, anyway. It was called The Night Agent. I don't know if you've seen.
I'm watching that. Yes, I am watching that.
Well, I think the second season is going to drop, or it has dropped. But boy,
he's a good-looking kid.
He is a handsome young man. He really, really is, and he's good. Boy, it's such a good. So anyway. We watched that, and then my mom fell asleep by 10:30, and we put her to bed. And then me and the boys were just up. I was cleaning and doing laundry because I like doing the laundry before I leave.
Okay.
I like having my suitcases where I just come home, open them up, everything's clean, put it away. Don't have to deal with that shit. So anyway, we did that. Next thing I know, it's 12 o'clock, and the boys were all up. We go, hey, and so we all hugged each other.
Oh, that's nice.
So that was mine, but I have elected before just to be myself, and it's fine. And, it's fine. So,
Yeah,
but thanks for sharing that. That's
absolutely.
glad.
Something else I want to touch on, and this kind of went along with my loneliness a little bit, is that we have, we've talked about this before, and we've had people write in about men that were part of a church, were part of a religious organization.
Yeah.
They come out as gay,
Yeah.
and now the church has rejected them.
Sure.
So I kind of felt like that was similar to how I was feeling. And I don't want to step on anybody's toes, and I don't want to create anybody getting upset with me, but you are a heterosexual man, seemingly,
Yeah.
and you are subscribing to a religion that rejects the being gay.
Right.
It's like in the Bible, that rejects homosexuality. Then you come out as gay, and there's this, I don't know if it's an expectation or if a dream, a hope, a wish, or whatever, that all of a sudden this 2,000-year-old organization that has been, against homosexuality is all of a sudden going to be incorporative of homosexuality. Like you are going, the church that you've been going to for 30 years and, been against homosexuality, you come out as gay, and now your hope or your wish or your desire is that they're going to be inclusive of you. And these men are abandoned by their church.
Yeah.
There's a wound there. And like myself with my loneliness, rather than me moving on and filling that void, that some of these men are still looking to the church
for guidance
to change their belief system, rather than them recognize that the church is not going to change.
Right. I mean, some churches have changed. Some, like the Presbyterian, the Hollywood Presbyterian, they have lesbian, priests.
Yeah, but I think that may be the church, the location itself. But if you've been going to a church, a building that has not been inclusive of homosexuality,
Right.
and you go back to that same church the next day as a gay man, you cannot expect that church, maybe the religion as a whole, you can find another church that's more accepting, but I don't know. I feel for these men because they part of an organization that was denouncing homosexuality, and now that they're gay, they're looking for that same church to now be.
But they can't. They can't, because they know that the church renounces homosexuality.
But you say that they know they can't. I don't think they know they can't. I think that's what they struggle with, is they're wanting that from the church. They're wanting the acceptance.
Well, you're wanting it, but the reality and the percentages of the church is not going to change their mind.
Yeah.
And you can hope that they do, but I think, having a list of yourself coming out and what your expectations are is what's the belief of your church. And if it is the opposite of what, then you need to be prepared to move on, because you're not going to get that support. You may get support from some individuals out of the church, but until the church changes the policy or at least that, then don't. I say this. I'm not telling you what to do, but what I'm trying to protect you and protect the men that are expecting to be accepted from that same church. If you're not going to be accepted, you want, and if you are, I'm glad I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm wrong, but it's really preparing yourself, because you can be religious and have your God and serve God and serve people and give back and do all that. And it's part of you breaking up with your family. And that's part of the family breakup of you're no longer going to be with your wife. That's gone. Are you going to be living in the same house with your children? No, that's going to be gone. It's setting up a new life for yourself. And also, well, you know what? Chances are maybe my church, let me just put this in the back of my head. Maybe there's another church I can go to. Do I still want to go to this church with my ex-wife? Even heteros, they don't want to see each other at church.
Yeah.
So it's sad that a lot of the church, and you know what I do? I want to read the Bible. I do want to read the Bible. I want to read the Bible because
Just go to Bible study.
huh?
Go to Bible study.
I could do that. But you know, it's interpretation. It's interpretation of passed down and changed languages. And you know, look, when you're at your naked parties that you have and y'all are all on the couch, play the game of seeing if the same sentence comes back to the first one who starts it.
Oh, telephone or whatever.
Telephone, and you pass it. No,
Yeah.
because it changes.
Yes.
And
Of course it
interpretation does. And if it just changes that simple with 5 people or 10 people, how much has it changed with the Bible? That's my question. I don't know, but I can only assume that there has to be things that are misquoted or what have you.
Well, I don't know. We better not go down that way.
No, we'll be here all night.
All right, here's something I wanted to bring up.
How much time do we have?
We're at 35 minutes, I think.
Oh.
So on December 29th, I saw PFLAG. You know what PFLAG is?
No.
PFLAG is Parents, Family, and Friends of Lesbians and Gays.
Okay.
PFLAG posted on social media that the first U.S. transgender suicide hotline is open. I'm going to post that in the show notes.
Okay.
So any transgender people who need a suicide hotline, 877-565-8860. I don't know that there's not another one already in existence, but PFLAG, who's pretty reputable, the fact that they did the social media post saying first U.S. Trans suicide hotline is now available. So I thought I would get that out there for our listeners.
Why don't you say it again?
Okay, the phone number 877-565-8860.
And anybody can call that.
Anybody can call that. Yeah, and you know, I was talking to somebody over at the Trevor Project, and the Trevor Project is really for, you know, the younger community, teens, 20s, or whatever like that. But their suicide hotline, they talk to people that are in 50s, 60s, 70s. They don't say, "Oh, we can't talk to you because you're not age qualifying." Right. Anybody can call these hotlines. Yeah. So absolutely, you're absolutely right. I think they're trained more for the transgender community, but I don't know. The last thing I'm going to talk about, John, we talked about this a couple episodes ago. I signed us up for a podcast-a-thon. Okay. And that podcast-a-thon, there's already over 1,000 podcasts that have signed up for it. Okay. They're all going to promote a charity. So it's a special event. We're gonna record like a 40-minute episode, and we're gonna highlight a charity. We're still looking for a charity. If there's one that you know of, write in, let us know. Okay. If it's a charity that you would like us to spotlight or highlight, we're gonna do that. Again, there's gonna be thousands of podcasters that during I think it's the 3rd week in March of this year. They're all going to release a charity episode the same week. Okay. So we'll be able to see other people, what they've done. They're going to be able to see ours. I think it's like going to do a lot of cross promoting also. Okay. Because the podcast-a-thon is actually going to promote this out also. So our podcast is going to be pushed out. Count me in. All right. Well, we just need to find a charity that we're going to spotlight. But yeah, if anybody out there has a charity that they do we want some charity that's geared towards the LGBTQ plus? I think so. And you know, we had talked about going to the LGBTQ center. You went to that. Yeah, I did, and I want to follow up with her. I think we need to go do that. Maybe we can do that. Maybe we could spotlight that. We could spotlight. There's also PFLAG. Oh my God, there's a Trevor Project. There's this great organization. Gosh, what's the name of it? It's the refurbishment of corporate jets, because a lot of these CEOs have these jets that have been
used so much, and leather seats are worn out, and they just need money.
They need money.
They need the money to refurbish these $60 million jets. Yeah. So that might be it.
Oh, there you go. Our yachts.
Our yachts.
Yes. Big.
A little levity here.
Yeah.
No, I love that. I'm glad you said that, because I want to go back to the community center here in LA, circle back with that element, and let's go take a tour over there and just see what they have over there. Maybe they need something to be promoted.
We could take some pictures while we're over there too, and post them on
the blue sky pictures. Which ones you talking about? Jesus.
Exactly. All right. We're good to go. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for listening, guys.
And
take care, guys, gals.
Where are you going? What are you going to go watch?
I'm going to go over to Chipotle. I'm going to get me a burrito, and then I'm going to go home and I'm going to watch the Golden Globes, because Nikki Glazer is hosting.
All right.
And she's so smart and funny, and I love her.
She was on who's the football player?
Yeah, for Brady.
Yes, God, that was.
Well, she killed, and that's what. I mean, the girl's been doing this for years and years and years. Now she has her break, and that was her big break, and she killed it.
Oh my God,
good for her. All right, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Love it.